that hitting me at 10 a.m. was
wow.
Damn. Are we going to be in fast forward this entire time?
Fast forward?
Wait, are we live?
Are we live right now?
Are we live? Are we live right now?
Is it also 1 year later for Game 5 today? I'm serious about the space-time continuum being bent and broken by the coronavirus.
Completely broken.
What's happening?
I haven't heard it called coronavirus for a long time.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
You know, it's like a little bit of a weird one. I went to a concert last night, and the band that opened was Delta Spirit. Everyone was like, "What a rough name!" Like,
dude, there was an import-export shop on Broadway, on South Broadway, and its name is ISIS. And I was like, ISIS, man, that's rough.
Wasn't ISIS like a low-key name that was on the rise for kids?
Probably.
Oh no!
I think like
there's like a lot of like 15-year-olds walking around named ISIS or something.
15 years ago.
Actually, along those same lines, I did my daughter's soccer team. I saw my first ever Khaleesi in the wild.
Wow!
I know Khaleesi. So that's a little bit of a weird one.
Yeah.
Imagine when you have to give the history of why you're named Khaleesi 20 years from now. Yeah. Well, there was this show. It was really overrated, but
no, it was not overrated. It just ended in a way that I want to meet my first Hodor.
That would be a really rough, like explaining to your kid, like, I don't know, you were born, you're just kind of an ogre. You're a real big blob. Well, this was the weirdest intro we've ever done to the show, but I kind of like it. A cold open.
We're all giddy. We're all, well, we are giddy, but we're all delusional. We're all having a hard time. I was complaining because the show's at 8 a.m., but the show's at 10 a.m.
Yeah, it shows where you're at this
I wish you guys could see the complaints that I have received to HR for the early time change. And not even from our audience, from our panel.
Yeah. No, you mean our audience?
Full disclosure, it's been from us.
Yeah. You mean our audience that's literally still in bed? They're not. Yeah, they're upset.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Nobody in Denver works anymore, like traditional jobs. So everybody is probably watching
Portland
this in
now?
bed.
Are we Portland now? You guys, where young people go to retire?
Growlers?
We want some growlers?
Hell no.
You want to get some growlers later, guys? Holy shit.
Just drinking coffee all day.
That's so funny. You guys may or may not have noticed Harrison Wind is back in studio.
I actually did not notice.
Happy back.
What's up, Harrison?
From the Wi-Fi wasteland.
The Wi-Fi wasteland.
Yeah. Like when you go, I hope my in-laws are not listening to this. When you travel, you just assume every house that you stay in is just going to have adequate Wi-Fi. It's probably a bad assumption, but I assumed I was wrong.
Yeah, you can't make that assumption, man.
Yeah.
We really need Wi-Fi to be better. Like, we just need... I thought 10 years ago, Wi-Fi would just be everywhere. You walk in the desert, there's Wi-Fi.
Right. That would be my platform if I ran for president.
Wi-Fi. It's so true. If you ran for president, you could come up with like 3 of the most like superficial things that you're
everywhere you go, you're going to be able to hook up to Wi-Fi.
What else is on the
You're going to run your United States presidential campaign the same way the class president runs there.
There'll be a
soda machine.
I'm going to get every millennial vote, Democrat or Republican. I'm going to corner the millennial vote. And the Gen Z vote.
I'm also not sure about the word need, that we need Wi-Fi.
I think we need it.
Sometimes, wasn't it a little nice to be disconnected?
No, because I answered the show.
I will say, I do find it nice. You're right, Eric. Sometimes
it is nice when you can get disconnected.
That's one of the things about when you go camping and you're like, you have no service. You put your phone away and you forget about it. You're kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot I have a phone, and it does feel kind of nice.
Then you get back, you're like, what? Jamal and Bones Hyland were tweeting each other?
Beefing.
I lost it. I wasn't there.
All right. So, guys, we are, as always, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. We've got to get to that. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up. To give you the rundown for today's show, we got Bones and Jamal.
What?
Giving us some content,
Let's
baby. Some beautiful, sweet content. I love these two. Dude. I love them individually. You put them together, I was like, I think this is going to be an incredible duo.
Yeah.
We're already getting it.
Already dishing out assists.
We're also going to talk about Bones Hive. I don't know if you guys know about this. Bones Hive.
Bohai?
Bohai. North side. Bones Hive is it's a force. We're going to talk about that.
Bones Hive. Hit me up, dude.
Yeah,
I
hit
wanna
us
be a
up,
part.
man. We are Bones Hive, but we're kind of like outside the circle of Bones Hive.
How
We're
do
gonna
we
get in
get
the
in,
circle.
dude?
I want to get in. Open tryouts. The Nuggets, the G League, the Gold are having open tryouts. We're trying to get Harrison Wynn signed up. We're seeing if he could be.
I was
approved.
trying to get Superstar Dev signed up.
Get Superstar Dev
I'm
in there as
retired,
well.
man.
Jermichael Green and Will Barton had media availability yesterday. We're going to talk about some of the takeaways from that one, and then later in the show, Carmelo Anthony. I've put this on the back burner, guys.
I hope we get to this.
We're gonna. Well, I hope we do as well. Carmelo Anthony says he never wanted to leave Denver. He never wanted to.
Hold on. Can you allow me to roll my eyes back to the back of my head until they start bleeding? Hold on just a second.
And then there it is. Also in Nuggets news, we're going to talk about J.R. Smith and his ventures now playing golf for. What is it? Carolina A&M. What was the school again?
Probably should have done some more.
Yeah, I
prep.
mean, it's not an important detail. I don't know why you even brought it up. But first, I want to remind everybody tonight at 6:00 Mountain Time, I'm going to be doing a live interview with George Karl, Keeping It 1000 podcast with George Karl and Kenneth Freed, and what is really the second episode, even though it's kind of the launch of a new series, the Denver Nuggets Legend series. We're going to have Kenneth Fareed live on our show for 1 hour, and we're just going to go through his time in Denver, 2011, all the way up until he was traded. And I think part of this series and what I'm so excited to do with this Legend series is tell the history of the entire Denver Nuggets, their entire franchise history, through interviews with players who played it. And I just think it's going to be a fantastic series. We did this already with Alex English, had him on the show. We talked about it. So there's already been an unofficial first episode, but going forward, we're going to have these every couple weeks with a new Denver Nuggets Legends. Very excited.
Can I just interject? Fuck yeah, dude. That sounds incredible.
It's going to be a banger. I'm so excited for it, man.
Let's go,
Kenneth
dude.
Fareed should be really cool too because he saw some really high highs with the Nuggets
Totally did.
and some really low lows, man. Like he was on the roster for those dark Brian Shaw days. And he was on some great teams also.
So here's what's interesting about Fareed is he was both one of the main faces, the fan favorite, and one of the faces of a great era, albeit a micro era, 2011 to 2013.
Big era for me, though.
He was one of the main faces of that and probably the most loved. Then he was on a team that was in nowhere, in no man's land with Brian Shaw and, people are hurt, whatever. Yeah. And then he was on the very beginning, the first 2 years of the Jokic era, which is now, this era that we're in. So he has a weird career in that he spans basically 3 micro eras.
He's the only player that did that here, right?
Gallo and Chandler both did as well.
Oh yeah,
Gallo
right,
and Chandler.
Right,
so,
right.
So it'll be a great conversation, and then also, just kind of checking in what his plans are, what his goals are. As he kind of tries to fight to get back into the league. At least I think that's probably part of his goals. So tune in for that.
He did just play in Summer League.
Well, he did. Yes, you have to assume. Yeah,
he's definitely very interested to get back in the league. But
I didn't realize that he had played 37 total games after leaving Denver. Isn't that wild?
That was stunning.
441 games with the Nuggets. He left. You thought like he had this other chapter and this or that just in my head.
Well,
37 total games.
I mean, you remember when he got traded? He got traded in a salary dump.
Yeah.
That was a straight salary dump for Denver to avoid the luxury tax.
Right.
Like they attached a pick to get rid of him.
Right.
I think. Or was that the Wilson Chandler one?
So I want to talk.
Maybe both,
I want to talk to him about all of this stuff and just how he feels about the organization, all that stuff. It's going to be great, man. George Karl and George Karl, by the way, loves him and Kenneth Fareed. Like he started Kenneth Fareed as a rookie in a playoff series. Like I
love that Kenneth Fareed. That was one of the first shirts I ever made.
The Manimal. Which one?
It was a picture of Kenneth Fareed.
Oh wow!
Yeah, my first 3 shirts I released.
This one.
First 3 shirts I released were it was the Denver Nugs.
Okay.
It was the Wilson Chandler and the Kenneth Fareed.
That's dope.
I still have some.
Hey, hit me up. Can I wear one?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Guys, but we're going to start off and we're going to get right into this. We have beef.
Oh, boy. Hassel?
No, we don't have Hassel Wagyu beef.
Wagyu?
No, we don't actually have beef. What we have is Jamal Murray. We said this a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago that we're like, Bones has like some of Jamal's personality. Like he's got this like, wants to talk shit, wants to go at you, some one-on-one. He's got a lot of like, street ball in his game, so like he's a hooper, man. He's a real hooper. A real hooper's no hooper, and Jamal has a lot of that obviously as well. So
he's the glitch.
We thought, all right, these two get together. When Jamal gets healthy, these two are going to be going at it like in practice. They're going to have shooting competitions. It's going to be great. Lo and behold, didn't need Jamal to get healthy for this to happen. We get a tweet last night from Jamal Murray that says, like. It's such a dick move. It's like a fun, a friendly dick move. He says, FYI, I beat Bones Hyland with my left hand in a free throw shooting competition, which, first of all, really fucking impressive, man. Really impressive.
Have you seen Jamal shoot free throws left-handed?
I don't think I mean, I've seen like one, but I don't know if I've seen him.
He's like a legit good shooter with his left hand.
Well,
I feel like this just pays the way for me to send out a tweet right after the show that says, I beat Harrison, Adam, and Brendan in Papa Shot at Summer League.
that is true. We actually had a video of it. You did do that. You did that.
It was actually on video, which I don't know if this was.
I went like 0 for 10 on the little Papa Shot. It was very
tough.
frustrating.
It was less impressive
ring.
on my part and more deeply unimpressive on yours.
He says, I beat Busy Bones from the free throw line with my left hand and one leg today. He's sick.
That's totally like varsity player talking to the guy on the sophomore team about beating them in one-on-one, I feel like.
Oh, this is 100%. Like, if you beat somebody bad like that, you can't keep it to yourself. There's some, like, what happens in the locker room, this, like, we keep secrets. But this is one where it's like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm going to blow you up on Twitter. I'm going to let everybody know that this happened.
He left out what, like, did he go 9 of 10 from the line?
We didn't even
know.
18 to 20 from the line. That's what was missing here.
Forever the stats guy over here.
He wants the analytics. It's like, hold on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, who reads spreadsheets when you're talking about free throw?
It could have been like first one to miss, and Jamal made 2, and Bones went like 1 for 1. And it's like, okay, that's this is a little thin. But I do love it, man. Like, I know we're not going to like read into that. I know there's some people that'll get online and try to like overanalyze every goddamn thing. I just want to fun analyze this, because it is hilarious to me and it's so great, and it's the buddy comedy I always wanted. You get 2 hyper competitive, super fun players together, and here you go. We got a little trash, a little big brother, little brother.
Oh,
I mean, this is what's great about bringing Bones Hyland into the Nuggets, man. Like, you're just gonna get this stuff. I feel like.
Yeah.
Out of the blue.
I know. He seemed like I want to hang. You think I could tweet him?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't think it was fun. Maybe. I don't
if
know.
we drafted, like, I'm sure a lot of rookies you wouldn't be getting this type of thing with right off the bat.
Yeah.
Man.
And Bones Hyland lives in the gym. He's addicted to basketball like a lot of these Nuggets guys are. So we're going to get this a lot, man.
Still waiting for the argument. Why we didn't draft Dame Lillard. Still waiting. Still have not heard.
So yeah, man, like I love this idea. I also think there's probably something to like this tells you a lot of little things. Jamal, I'm sure, just itching for competition. Think about how few competitions he's probably had over the last like 5 months.
He's like Jordan in the Last Dance doc, throwing a quarter against the wall. Like, just who wants $100? Who
something? He just needs something to feel a little competitive edge. So yeah, free throw competition. Like, hey, it's all I can do right now is free throws. Let's do it. We're doing.
He's like $1,000. I can shoot this piece of paper into that trash can. Stuff like that.
So I love it. I also think there is a little bit of a not like Jamal. Not I don't want people to overinterpret this.
Oh,
not
boy,
that he feels like,
guys.
oh, he's coming for my spot or this or that. But there is a little like, all right, fresh meat. Like guy, I seen him saying that he's coming for all the smoke this year.
Let me show him what's up in a free throw competition.
I hope Jamal records an album too, and like
just to like try to get on top of it. It's funny.
Diss track.
So I love it, man. I already love it, and I can't wait. Like I said, next we probably have to wait all the way up until like next year before we truly get the Jamal Bones. Like,
they're just gonna play 0 minutes together this next season.
No. I'm saying one-on-one. Like I don't know. Like when Jamal comes back, I don't even know if they'll be doing one-on-one games. But we're gonna get the practice like running count every single game. I remember people talking about Kobe this way, where it was like after practice, every time he'd be like, "We're playing one-on-one again," and guys would be like, "Dude, no, I'm tired like this or that." And he's like, "No." Every day we play one-on-one because we have to see who's the best. And it's always me.
The only question that remains is: do we refer to them collectively as Bone Jam or Jam Bone?
Nope. Yeah, it was a try. It was an attempt. And
it's an either or proposition. I vote Bone Jam.
Well, he goes by Busy. Why don't you combine Jamal and Busy? What do you get?
Bismol. Jizzy or Bismol.
Collectively, they're just Jizzy. All right, we're gonna have to workshop
Dude,
some of these.
10 a.m. starting time forever. We are delirious, and they're bringing the worst out of us.
So I love the competition that's happened already. Now there's a secondary part of this, and that is
vote for Jam Bone.
Bless Bones. Bones is because what? Kale, help me out. What is after millennial? A Zoomer?
Gen Z.
No, is it? But are they called Zoomers?
Yeah,
all right.
Oh,
you are one.
I'm a Zoomer.
Okay,
That
so
sucks.
Yeah, jeez, man, I like Kel so much. No, so Busy, very clearly a Zoomer, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
every couple of years, you get a new like sort of micro generation coming in, and so Bones is a very online person, as like almost everybody his age is, and even we're old.
Yeah, if you're not very online as a Zoomer, you're just weird as hell.
But what I like is he gets a little Vic Lombardi
Weird.
replies to a tweet and says, "Damn, trade him," to the Jamal Murray tweet. Bones quote tweets it and says, "I'm going to block everyone." He goes full Woj. Woj does this. If anybody disparages Woj will like not just block the tweet, but anybody that liked it.
Yeah.
He
Goes full scorched earth.
He was full Woj here, and he says, anybody that likes this tweet, I'm going to delete. Now, first of all, we know and love Vic, true Northsider, Vic Lombardi. Clearly a joke. Vic, a very sarcastic individual online. Now he gets blocked, and people had to come out and tell him, like, yo, come on, man, it's a joke or whatever. But what I love is it wasn't just Bones who said, like, hey, no, whatever. It was Bones Hive, which might be the #1 hive on the Denver Nuggets.
Holy smokes.
You say something about Bones online, boom, the hive descends, and they're right. Actually, no, there's one.
Are we going to get
There is a
hived
bigger
based on
hive.
this show?
If we power rank the hives, where's the #1 hive?
The Bay Hive.
What's Bay?
Beyonce. That's the #1 hive on the internet,
I'm talking
dude.
about Nuggets hive.
You just said
the
hive.
believers.
All right, the
believers.
Bay hive is the #1 hive. You're right.
It's the top hive, dude.
No, the #1 Nuggets hive might be Facu. Facu. I mean, Jokic maybe. Like, the thing is, we've never said a bad word about Jokic because we
The
just
thing
love
is, like,
him.
we are the Jokic hive.
It's so true.
That's a great.
So actually, maybe there is a day where it comes and we're like, yo, just let us down, and then like we'll find out.
Oh,
that there's
Harrison said that he wasn't the most exciting player, and he was canceled.
that actually. First of all, you're right. We are the hive because I canceled Harrison for that take. All right, you're right. Jokic hive. We just don't know because
we're forced for the trees on
the
that one.
center of the universe. We can't see outside of it. The whole world is the hive. Facu hive is very strong. Like, you say something about Facu, man, and like they go. Also, like, one of our top 5, I think, all-time post-game shows is preseason game 1.
Yeah.
With Facu's debut.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
So Facu hive, but Bones hive right there in the top 3, I think.
Why is
already.
the Bones hive so strong? Is it a combination of he's a Zoomer?
Zoomer
I just
number
learned
one.
that today.
Yeah. He's so charismatic. Like, he's just so lovable.
charismatic. The Hooper factor,
Oh.
I feel like, comes into this a little bit.
The Hooper hive.
Just Hoopers stand more for Hoopers.
This has been 20 shows straight that Harrison has said the word Hooper.
Keep that meter running,
That's going to be like 1,000 shows consecutive.
dude. It's because he's dope as hell. I'm a member of the Bones hive. I just have not
He's a
received
rapper.
my form.
I know if we were
Remind
going to
me.
get to that in
I
that
wasn't.
portion.
I wasn't, but I'm very glad you brought it up because that was like maybe the most interesting thing.
I just
you said.
like didn't have enough energy to tweet that quote. I just can't.
Because Bull Hive would have come out of the woodwork and been
I just
like,
can't do it anymore.
they're
man.
going to come out anyway. Do we have a 5th hive? Is there a 5th hive?
Well,
on
I'll
there?
tell you what hive should be stronger is the MPJ hive. It should be stronger, don't you think?
Yeah, like for sure. I mean, he's an awesome player.
Very, very curious.
He's very curious. Very curious. By the way, today, Aliens. He's
Yeah.
in. He's in on
See,
Aliens.
this is what I thought. Curious Mike was like. He started off. He just talked about going through AAU, and I was like, I'm not curious about it at all. Aliens.
Yeah, like, let's get into this. Are you kidding me? I will definitely watch Curious Mike's entire hour-long episode of it's
1
just on
million.
Aliens.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear his thoughts on crypto. I want to hear his
Real
thoughts
well.
on aliens. I want to hear his thoughts.
I don't want to hear anybody's thoughts on crypto, to be honest. There's nobody. Including
You're not
Michael
curious?
Porter. I'm not curious about crypto or Michael Porter's
not.
crypto takes. But Aliens, I'm all in.
He probably had to lay the baseline with some like just real genuine content, and now he can really just branch off into like conspiracy theories. And
he had to
stuff.
set the baseline of, hey, we're being serious here. Then
That's
he could
like
be
that's the template for this specific episode of this show. We've done reasonable versions of this Nugget show, and today it's just off the rails.
What if he comes out and says, and this is on the table, I've seen aliens. I've seen them.
I bet he
Oh,
has.
Oh my god!
You say that one time and you're the alien guy. It's like you're not
Yeah.
known for anything else but like
He's already. Yeah.
You have stoked the crypto bros in the chat.
Oh
Or
god.
Crypto Hive is after me. Crypto
Yeah.
Hive is the top hive for sure.
I mean,
I didn't say it. I just said I'm not I don't want to talk about it. You know what else I don't want to
boy,
talk
now
about?
we're backtracking.
Interest rates.
You know what?
like
I don't want to talk
fiat
about.
currencies.
You know what? I don't want to talk about NFTs. Nobody talk about NFTs. With
Hey
me,
man,
please.
Thomas Welsh launched an NFT that
I have an
this
NFT.
very
Crypto
day.
poops. Crypto poops. Check it out.
Unless it's Thomas Welsh. He's the only one I want to talk about NFTs with.
We are
Don't talk to me about NFTs.
we are deep in off season today, boys. We are deep in the off season. Let's take a break. On the other side, though, we're gonna talk about some more off season content. We're gonna talk about open tryouts as well as Jermichael Green and Will Barton, including Jermichael Green's endorsement of Bull Bull.
Oh man. I don't know if I have the energy. Across the DNVR network, we're now sponsored by Ball. Yeah, as in Ball Arena where the Nuggets play, as in the aerospace technology company, also as in the world's largest aluminum can and packaging manufacturer. Ball has been leading global sustainability efforts for decades. They're a really cool company that's doing a lot of cool stuff across the world. You know them as the company that makes those 8, 12, and 16-ounce can sizes for all kinds of liquid. They make cans in over 30 different sizes at facilities across the world. The Golden plant right here in Golden, Colorado, they make regular 8-ounce, 12-ounce sleek cans, a 24-ounce growler size, 12 and 24-ounce cans as well, a Lumitech bottle, several different can lid sizes, which are then shipped to other plants to be filled. If you want to work at Ball, check them out. Go to jobs.ball.com, search for Golden, or you can simply text Golden to 77222. A great place to work, local, for a great company that's been leading sustainability efforts across the world for decades. So check them out. If you want to work at the plant in Golden, jobs.ball.com, search for Golden, or text Golden to 77222. Also, at DraftKings right now, sure they got a great promotion going on. The NFL is back, guys. The NFL is back.
Let's freaking go.
And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving all new players a can't miss offer for week 1. Bet just $1 on any NFL game during the first week of the season and receive $200 in free bets. I feel like these offers just keep getting better and more ridiculous from DraftKings. It was like bet $1, get $50, bet $1, get $100. Now it's bet $1, get $200 in free bets instantly.
Man.
Take advantage of this limited time offer right now. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any Week 1 game. So it doesn't even matter if the team you bet on wins or loses. You just have to bet $1 on a Week 1 game. You're going to get $200 in site credits.
I say this is not betting a dollar. This is paying $1 for $200.
Right. Investing $1, if you will.
You buy $200 for $1.
Yeah, it's a good
and
trade.
then you could put your $200 on an absolute lock.
Well, they break it up into 8 different bets, so you can only make you make 8 $25 bets, and so
same thing though.
Well, but you couldn't load it up onto one bet. But that's even better. You have the opportunity to diversify your portfolio.
Oh, my God.
You could bet on the Rockies blowing it on the road. That's a safe bet.
That's so true.
The Rockies to go up and then lose.
Rockies on the road with like a 1-run lead going into the 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, hop on DraftKings, take the loss.
Hey, the Rockies won in extras last night.
Oh,
Give
cool.
them some
Wow,
credit.
Oh, the Rockies won
We don't
in
talk about
extras.
facts on this show. Again, for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Get that offer. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
I have to hit this comment from my guy James Raid. He says, Jokic on NFTs. Yeah, man, I get no free throws NFTs. That's like the worst dad joke ever, and I am
Adam
so
couldn't be
in on.
happier.
I couldn't be happy. I saw it, and I was like,
see, this is why I don't want to talk about NFTs.
10 out of
like
10
this.
dad joke. I'm so in. No free throws. So cracks me up so much.
Pretty good.
Shouts to James.
Pretty good, James.
All right, open tryouts.
Yeah.
Publicity stunt. We really looking for over under 0.5 people from the open tryout that will be selected.
Over. I'll take one.
I'll take one.
You think
too.
they'll be the token like guy off the street that they're just like, hey man, this guy was a real baller.
I think so.
over there
Yeah, I
at
do.
Random high school.
I see one.
Well,
But it's like an open
G League
tryout from-
teams have these open tryouts. Like, this is not a one-off thing that Nuggets are doing. G League teams do this. And look, there's going to be some former D1, D2 player who shows up who's actually legit good.
Actually, so people don't really know this. These open tryouts, the answer is they are a publicity stunt because people will sign up and go try to play.
Yeah.
But the actual people that are going to be there are going to be actual guys. Like Hartenstein will be like, his agent will bring him into this open tryout.
Like, there will be a group of people like me or you who show up. They'll put all of us on one court.
Totally.
And then they'll put all the real hoopers on the other
And
court.
they cut people like, as if I recall, because I haven't seen one of these for a couple years, but if I recall, it was like, yeah, it's like a 2 2-hour workout, and they'll just kind of slowly be like, "Hey, man, thank you. We're moving on to set round 2. You're out."
Yeah.
And then they just kind of whittle it down, and the next thing you know, it's guys whose agents are there.
It's like, wait, that guy played in the league last year.
well, yeah, it wasn't exactly. It was not
Wait,
a
is
real
that
open
like
tryout.
Jimmer Fredette?
Jimmer Fredette is there, just murdering it. Jimmer would destroy the open tryout.
Oh man,
I'm surprised they don't just like take the summer league team and make them the G League team.
Exactly. Well, yes. Well,
Like Xylem, Cheatham.
Well, he'll be in the G League. He might be on the team.
Unfortunately, we
No,
already
he might
lost
be.
Caleb.
Caleb Agata, yeah. Oh,
We lost
shocker!
him.
He didn't want to go to the G League. He's down making like real money. in
Yeah, that's the
NBL.
thing. Like the money you make overseas compared to the G League, sometimes it's not comparable.
Yeah.
You just make a lot more money in one of these top leagues in Europe.
It'd be fun
Or
to
is
do
there-
the open tryout though.
I'm trying to get
Not for
Dev
me.
signed up for it. I'm trying to get Dev
Like
on
the
it.
Nuggets would be really pissed if we got it. I mean, I guess they
Would it be
can't
amazing
stop
if you
No.
made the team? You're like, well,
When they
your best shooting day
when
ever,
you
you're
put
just, like,
on an
draining
open
them.
tryout, the Nuggets have to expect. All right, we're gonna get like one guy from DNVR who's gonna do it. Vic
You
Lombardi's
think
gonna
Vic,
do it.
Vic is trying?
yeah, yeah.
oh my
but-
God, that would be incredible content. We have to get Dev.
No,
to-
we'll cover the shit out of it.
Here's
of
the thing,
course.
though. Here's the thing. Can you imagine, like, you are a D1 athlete, you've been training, you're doing all this. You have to go up against Harrison Witten, who's like just there as a joke, a total joke.
like wearing, it's like the press day for the Super Bowl. Like people are showing up in costumes.
Yeah, totally. And trying to get hard hitting questions. You're like, God damn it, okay. It would totally be like, that's a good comparison. Anyway, open tryouts would make some great
I
content.
bet one person from open tryouts lands on the G League team.
That has an agent, or that's just like a guy.
You didn't put that qualifier
Oh
out there.
my
I don't
God,
know.
come
I'm just
on.
saying one person. They're holding him in Grand Rapids too. So
In Grand Rapids as well.
yeah, one in Grand Rapids, one
Is
in
Jason
Denver.
Terry going to be there? Like, what? Can you imagine if Jason Terry actually analyzed your game?
So the press release said Nuggets coaches and front office personnel will be in attendance.
can you imagine? Oh, Michael
who
Malone
gets
even
the call
there.
to go to that, Marty?
That's so true. They're not. They're. I would love to see Michael Malone there analyzing Vic Lombardi versus Dev. Jermichael Green and Will Barton had their media availability. This is actual Nuggets news. We can now get to halfway through segment 2. But, these they were made available because they technically signed contracts. Like, not every player is going to be, but technically they signed. So this is their like, hey, talk to the media about it. We'll start with Jermichael Green. Where do you want to start with this one, and what stood out to you about his conversation with the media?
That he knew he wanted to come back to Denver before last season ended.
Right.
It's like
right.
we spend so much time throughout the year and then in the off season. Oh, is Jermichael Green, does he want to come back to Denver? Is he going to get interest elsewhere? He declined the player option. What does that mean? Well, he wanted to come back to Denver all along.
Right.
And the Nuggets wanted him back all along. And it really wasn't that. It was an open and shut case. He was coming back. He wanted to come back.
I'm a little bit surprised that it was that open and shut. I thought, look, he was here for 1 year. He didn't necessarily play a ton of minutes. I think he actually probably, if you're Jermichael Green, I think you look at it and say, I could have played even more minutes than what I did. The season, it's not that it was, from his perspective, he came here to compete, and I think the Nuggets would have competed for a title. And last year they didn't, just because of the injury. So it wasn't, just looking at this kind of objectively, I can't imagine it was the best season for him. So the fact that he came back to me really signals that he is buying into what's there more so than he was just like, man, what a great time. It's more like, all right, didn't go the way, but I do believe it will go the way.
Well,
I
you
want
have
it
to also take into consideration that Jokic said he wants to play with him for the rest of his life. That has to say that they got some good chemistry in the locker room. Like it's a good.
Are you surprised that that Jermichael Green is a Jokic guy? That Jokic
Yes,
just
I
loves him?
don't understand at all. Like why Jokic
I do
said
get
that.
it. I actually do get it.
You do.
It's because Jermichael Green's like kind of the opposite of Jokic.
Oh, I disagree.
Oh, well, I mean,
I wanna hear
Jermichael
I wanna hear
Green's
it.
like an absolute bruiser. He's like his game is like, I'm going to beat you up inside. I'm going to bang on the glass. I'm like,
Jokic is a bruiser too, though, in a different way. Like I think playing against Jokic is a pain in the ass because he's enormous. Like that's the one thing that is so underrated about him is that he's a massive human.
Yeah.
And just leaning on you and like Jokic, especially you sit and watch him closely, like guarding Jokic, you probably come home with several bruises. He comes home with several
comes home
scars
with
on
a
his
lot, too.
arms, but
yeah.
it's a physical. You're touching him the whole time.
Yeah.
Kind of game.
But I think Jokic just recognizes that, like, look, I just need somebody like that on my team.
Yeah.
I need an enforcer.
Yeah. So here's what I think it is. An underrated aspect of Jokic's sort of like personality is he's a country boy. You know, he's small town, but he's a bit of a country boy. And Jermichael Green, country boy, Southern country boy. So I think they have a little bit of this like Southern, you know. I know it's Serbia, so it's a little bit different. But I think it comes from that. People have told me, the Serbians have told me that Jokic has a pretty thick accent, like country accent in
That's
Serbian, which I will never know.
about.
But so I think that's what it is. Is there, you know, there's city folk, there's suburb folk, there's rural folk, and they're. I'm not trying to paint with a broad brush here, but there are like little differences, and I think those guys, there's a little bit of like that work ethic, the no BS, the like.
Love
he's
of
a real
horses.
one. Like Jermichael Green's a real one. I think Jokic was like has a very strong bullshit detector.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's true for sure.
So I think that's probably more the appeal there. What else from his conversation?
I mean, kind of to D-lines or to both of your points. Like, I think Jermichael Green probably assessed the lay of the land around the league. And was like, can I go anywhere else and be a 3rd/4th big on a contender? And the answer is probably no. And the quote that kind of blew up from his thing was, losing is boring.
Right.
Like, he doesn't want to be on a bad team. He doesn't want to be on a losing team. Jermichael Green's been on good teams throughout his career.
Yeah.
Memphis, San Antonio, the Clippers, and now the Nuggets.
Yeah.
So I would be
Has he
surprised.
made the playoffs? Did he make the playoffs every year?
I don't know how.
In Memphis, he might have not. In one year, I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe not like his first year in Memphis, but I would be surprised if he ever goes to a team that's projected to miss the playoffs.
His first year in Memphis was Gasol Zebo. So yeah, he was. That was playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you have to take into consideration as far as him and his relationship to the Nuggets is that Paul Millsap isn't coming back.
Right.
And those two sort of, I mean, oftentimes they were on the court at the same time, but they kind of occupied the same space strategically. Like they're the same kind of guys, sort of. I mean, like Jermichael is more of a natural stretch, although Paul Millsap was like always hanging out and shooting threes. But, you know, like the deck is actually cleared for him a little bit more than it did last year.
And Jermichael did talk about the Jeff Green signing, and I've got to think he's excited about that because Jeff Green's a way better fit for him than playing alongside Paul Millsap.
I agree.
Was.
I agree.
That's a way better fit.
It's funny, like Jokic. I think Jokic respected Paul Millsap and everything, but I don't know. I never heard him like. He has endorsed Jermichael Green personally in a way I don't think I ever heard of Paul Millsap. I'm not trying to like overstate.
He endorsed Jermichael Green in a way never heard him endorse
true.
anyone.
That's true. So,
He's never said that about anyone. I think Jokic had an incredible amount of respect for Paul when he got here.
For sure.
I mean, that first year, remember when Paul came back from the injury and Jokic was just making Paul Millsap the center of the offense. He had an incredible amount of respect for Paul when he came here because he was, you know, a 3-time All-Star?
4-time.
4-time All-Star?
4-time All-Star Paul Millsap.
Yeah, four-time
All-Star. How did you screw this up? It's like his nickname.
Yeah. He's a 4-time All-Star coming into a locker room with no All-Stars.
Yeah.
No playoff experience, and here's Paul Millsap, a guy who's just done it for so long. He had a ton of respect for him.
Let's get to the bull part. The fact that he endorses him was a shock to me. My conspiracy hat, is it over here? Nope, I put it back over there. My conspiracy hat would tell me, is he trying to help the front office out?
No. I'll tell you exactly what's happening, but I want to hear your guys' theories.
Well, that was my theory. I guess here it goes.
Dude, our poor tinfoil. Look at that. This
I
thing's
know. We need a
been to
new
the
one, dude. We need a new
Well,
one.
we just need a new coat of tinfoil. We need a new coat of tinfoil on that.
I think he is trying to pump up Bull's trade value to say, I'm ready to go here.
Oh, my God.
Here's what's really happening is Jermichael Green watched very little summer league and just looked at the stats and saw Bull put up big stats. That's all that's happening here.
You don't think he was tuned in to every summer league game like we were?
The highlights, maybe.
The DNBA show post game, he wasn't tuned in.
He saw the stats and was like, oh, Bull 20 points a game in the summer league.
Let's get it.
40% from 3. Big year coming.
Big year incoming.
That's all that's happening.
And that would be nice. The one thing I will say is that, you know, much of what is out there about Bull and much of the things that we've heard is, you know, the work ethic, the commitment, the maturity, all that kind of stuff. And I wonder, like, Jermichael Green doesn't seem like a guy that would endorse a dude like that. So that's why it's so surprising to me is I'm like, okay, well, I feel like Jermichael Green's the one guy that'd be like, no, you miss a practice or you don't give it your all or this or that, like you're done. I'm not endorsing you. So him giving that endorsement, at least I'm like, all right, let's see it. Bull. Let's get him out there.
Are we really going to do this again?
Hey,
man?
could Bull start at some point this year? I'm just kidding. All right, let's go to Will Barton, his media availability. What'd you take from Will Barton?
A lot of the same stuff. He wanted to come back. The Nuggets wanted him to come back. It seems like it was a pretty easy negotiation. And there's already a rallying cry that's just reverberating off the walls of the Nuggets locker room.
Yeah.
Unfinished business.
Ooh. Do we have ourselves
trademark?
Do we have ourselves a new what do we like the season? Like what was this last one? We don't back
Theme.
down.
We don't back down.
Theme, yeah.
A
We
new
don't skip
theme
steps.
line. Let's freaking go. dude.
Unfinished business.
business
Look at the twinkle in his eye.
with the
Yeah.
busy
Business.
BIZZ
Yeah, we got that part.
business.
Thank you. We got it.
Unfinished
Yes.
bones.
Yeah, the business. All right, we got it.
So, yeah, that's the rallying cry. Unfinished business. I think Will definitely said it. Jamichael said it. And I feel like we're going to hear that a lot. Probably from Michael Malone, probably from all these guys. It's probably going to be the theme of at least the start of the season.
We did it, baby. I like it.
Yeah.
Got a new brand, 2022.
And that's how these guys feel. Like they got swept by the Suns. They obviously know that was not a representation of what this team can do. They ran it back pretty much. A lot of these guys will sign a 2-year deal. Jamichael Green, 2-year deal. Last year's a player option. So
I'm so in on this. I'm sorry. I'm listening to this.
Yeah.
It's great, but I'm so in on unfinished business. It's a perfect, run it back. You know, we kept talking about the Nuggets are running it back, but why are they running it
business.
back?
They got unfinished business.
Unfinished business.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Let's get business. Do you guys get it or no?
Deep in the
I don't-
offseason.
thanks God.
Explain to me one more time.
Yeah.
One more time.
So
Can you imagine if the Nuggets had a Finnish player? Then we could have really leaned into the puns.
holy smokes. Is there anyone
I don't think in the history of the NBA there's been a Finnish player. Somebody from
Kale, is there
Finland.
anyone in Scandinavia that's ever played basketball at any level?
Yeah, it's actually pretty popular there right now.
Oh, okay.
There's a ton of tall people
Kale's
in
talking out his
Scandinavia.
ass right now.
That's true. There are tall people there. All right, so keep going.
What else? So last year, Will Barton did not work out with a basketball the entire season.
This is big.
I talked about this and reported on it. I mean, he rehabbed his body and retaught himself how to jump last offseason. That was his offseason, reteaching his body how to move and jump. Now he's having much more of a standard offseason. He's playing 5-on-5. He's working on his game. He's getting better, he said. So that's something that not a lot of people talked about. Well, we did, but not a lot of people did with Will Barton. He thought, going into last season, that the year was going to start, the season was going to start in February. And that's how he had his whole rehab off-season regimen planned.
Right.
And so the first half of his season, he kind of looked at it as rehab, but next season he can hit the ground running because he's having a regular off-season.
I think Will Barton's going to have a great year. And honestly,
too.
that was one of my takeaways from talking to him is you were reminded of the fact that he did injure himself in the middle of that short season. Of course, we just talked last year that the bubble was just starting basically, or the playoffs were just starting a year ago. So such little time that he had to try to get healthy this year, being healthy going in, or at least more healthy than he was, and then getting all this time to rest and prepare and train and work on his body. And Will Barton is a guy that his career is so tough because of the injuries that, in my opinion, I know the Barton haters are going to come out of the woodwork on this, but in my opinion, healthy Will Barton was the best version of himself by quite a bit. We just only got to see it in little tiny pockets.
Yeah.
But good Will Barton was a real force, not just a good complimentary piece, but was hey, this is a dude that can go at really good players and give him the business. And I'm optimistic that we're going to get that version of him from the jump this year. And
I mean, the Nuggets need peak Will Barton this year, man. They need him at his best to just steady the waters until Jamal gets back. They're going to need Will to be the number 3 guy. I mean, he's the clear number 3 guy. Yoke, Michael Porter, and Will Barton. It's your top 3 scorers, clearly.
Yeah, I think so too. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for him. In that conversation in particular, he also talked about having the support of his teammates, coaching staff, and front office, which I think is important because this is true, and that's another thing we always talk about, that the guys in the locker room love Will. So whatever you guys on the peanut gallery think, he does have the support of his teammates.
Tim Connolly asked Will Barton if they should draft Bones Hyland and what they thought of him.
Well, so when I did the documentary on Will Barton, Tim Conley says that Barton watches more basketball at all levels than anybody on the team, meaning he's like a true basketball lover. He's watching college because he just loves basketball. And, of course, he has – well, I know you'll talk about the relationship he has, but I like that Tim Conley asked him because it's like he knows that he's like a basketball scout, an amateur armchair basketball scout. So I think it's cool.
Yeah. No, but to that, should I just go over the story that Barton laid out yesterday?
Let's do it.
So he says before the draft, Tim called him up and was like, what do you think of Bones Hyland? And Bones Hyland went to Will Barton's elite camp in Baltimore. Will Barton's AAU team Thrill, played against Bones Hyland AAU team when Bones was playing AAU at a tournament. They met each other there when Bones was in high school, and then he went to his camp. So they've known each other. They text, they FaceTime, obviously before the draft, before they became teammates. And Tim hit Will up and was like, what do you think of this guy? And Will said he's a bucket. You know, he's going to fit in great with the locker room. He's got a fire and passion to his game. Will said that Bones reminds him a lot, just like his makeup, his dedication to his craft, how addicted he is to basketball and getting better, reminds him of himself, reminds him of Jamal, Michael Porter, Monte Morris, other guys in the locker room. Yeah. And Will just pretty much told Tim he should draft him, and he didn't know if Tim was going to, and then he just did. Yeah.
That is Tim Conley, though. We've come to learn like that. Sometimes we'll do the like right off the cuff. It's funny though when you mentioned that he started mentioning how Bones is a gym rat. And what he's really saying is that he's a true lover of the game, and he's like just like me and just like Jamal. And then he starts listing off players, and it reminds me of like you'd ever done this when you're in a group of friends. Like if we're talking about our group of, I'm like, Dev just really knows basketball. That's why I like him on the show, and Harrison too, and Eric, and also Vogt. It's like okay, now I got to mention everyone because I just made it sound like I'm not mentioning certain people. Yeah. So I almost felt like he did that. It's kind of funny.
Which guy do you think he did that because of?
What's that?
Which guy do you think he did that for?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying he was like, he really is a guy that loves basketball like me and Jamal even. And Monte and Jermichael. And like, I got to mention everyone. Yeah. But I do think those guys love basketball too.
Sure, man. Sure.
Wait, this is why we were joking early on about Bones and Jamal is I think they genuinely both love basketball at its purest form, and that's why it's so fun to hear them already doing a competition. And I know Barton's there as well. Who are you taking, by the way? Let's project 3 years in the future, and we have a one-on-one, and we've got all of Denver's guards. Mm-hmm. So we'll include Dozier, we'll include Barton, we'll include Facu, all these guys. Like who's the top one-on-one guy?
Michael Porter's not in this.
He's too tall.
I don't know, but he can just rise up over everybody.
It would be him, but he's not in it.
He's not in the competition because it's kind of hard to tell Facu to go guard him. In one-on-one with no help.
I was gonna make a joke, but Bones?
Yeah.
No, come on. You guys are ridiculous.
You don't think so?
The slander I'm hearing for a guy who dropped 50 points twice in one playoff. It's easily Jamal Murray. Are we kidding?
Yeah, that's probably Jamal.
Jamal Murray's a really good one-on-one player. Like he always does the because he has the post game. He's got like if you can't help, he's got a lot of. He's a good player.
Yeah, no, it's Jamal. I'm kidding. It's Jamal.
Bones is a hooper. He's a hooper. Like all of the clips I watched of him were just him taking dudes one-on-one, just rising up and shooting. He's probably Jamal.
3 years from now, Bones might have a claim for number 2. 2 years from now, whatever, over Barton. I don't know. Probably not. No, it's going to be Barton still, number 2, and then Bones 3. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
The other thing Barton had to say, though, the biggest driving force, like the biggest thing that's pushing him and motivating him right now is to be healthy for the playoffs, because it's the one thing he hasn't gotten to do in Denver is be healthy for one of these playoffs.
You actually asked this question. It was a great question, and it was an even better response when he said that was one of his main motivations is I haven't gotten to play in the playoffs healthy.
I think it was Vogt who asked the question.
Oh, it was Vogt who asked it. Okay. Well,
shouts to Vogt.
Yeah, shouts to Vogt. Not on the show today. He's now. Also definitely not watching.
He's watching the back of his eyelids.
That's definitely true. But yeah, I think I thought that was just a really, really cool response and an insight into him of like, think about doing all the hard work here and not getting the reward work.
And
we haven't had a Barton playoff game. We haven't had a single Barton playoff game where it's like the Barton game. And come on, man, Barton's good enough. If Austin Rivers has one, Barton should have 2 or 3 by now.
Yeah, and
he hasn't been healthy.
It's exactly what he's done. He's done all the hard work. He's done all the heavy lifting in Denver, man. He came here when this team was nothing, and he hasn't really gotten to reap the fruits of that labor.
Yeah,
you know, it's like right when we opened the bar, all the hard work, and then got none of it.
None of it. All right. We get one more segment here. We're going to talk about Carmelo. We're going to talk about J.R. Smith, some old school Nuggets. We're going back in time, and then later I'm talking to Fareed. My God, what a nostalgic day in Nuggets Nation.
You need to get Jeff Morton on the phone.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, stop into Solace Meds right now. They got 4 convenient Colorado locations. They got one in Fort Collins, one in Wheat Ridge, one off of Broadway, and one just blocks away from the DNVR bar on East Colfax. Here's some of the deals they got going on in the month of August. Dixie Elixirs, 2 for $30. Take note of that, D-line. Spectra, 20% off. Ripple, 25% off. Silver Shelf Flour, 15% off. Connoisseur Shelf Concentrates, 15% off as well. All those deals are going on throughout the month of August. Here's another deal that they've also got going on regardless of the month. Drop the code DNVR20 at checkout. You're going to get 20% off your purchase, and you're going to get a free Solace bar or King Cone as well. That's valid at all locations, at the Wheat Ridge location, the Broadway one, the one on East Colfax, the one at Fort Collins. Stop in to Solace Meds today.
I could really go for a King Cone right now if I'm being real. Or a Solace bar.
Also, buying a house, it can be a really complicated, really stressful process. The people at Chevalier Mortgage, Michael and Virginia Chevalier, make it really easy, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. So check them out today. Set up a free consultation at DNVRmortgage.com. That's where you can set up a free consultation. You can register to win a free DNVR shirt or hat there as well. DNVRmortgage.com. Michael and Virginia Chevalier, they've been in the mortgage business forever. They know all the ins and outs. They know all the tricks of the trade. They can make it a super easy process for you and make it really stress-free. So visit them at DNVRmortgage.com. Get set up for a free consultation. Michael Chevalier, NMLS number 1931006, and Virginia Chevalier, NMLS number 1910631. Finally, at Hassel Cattle Company right now, that promotion is still going on. You guys can enter to win a $200 gift card and cooler. That's going out to one lucky winner. All you got to do to enter is go to the DNVR Sports Twitter page and click on the link to our pinned tweet. Courtesy of Hassel Cattle Company. Again, they're giving away a $200 gift card and cooler to one lucky winner. Go to the DNVR Sports Twitter page to enter. And if you're going on to HassleCattleCompany.com, use the code DNVR10 for 10% off your purchase every single time. DNVR10 for 10% off your Hassel Cattle Company order. They've got everything at Hassel Cattle Company. Smoked sausage, New York strip, beef bacon, Wagyu Franks, jerky flavors, tons, and I could go on for hours. So DNVR10 at HassleCattleCompany.com for 10% off.
Alrighty, back here, final segment, and we have to, unfortunately, guys, we have some downer news here.
What?
I know, some downer news. This happened a while back. I couched it. I wanted to wait for like a slow day. Today was a pretty slow day, so I wanted to bring it up. Carmelo Anthony, you bring this up.
Here it comes.
Harrison, this is an annual talking point.
Yeah, every year Carmelo goes on a podcast and tries to rewrite history. This happens every single offseason.
And he says, I never wanted to leave Denver. I would have loved to have
It was just my wife. Wait, what?
Yeah, he didn't
what?
say that.
It was just my wife?
I was so committed to Denver and just wanted my whole career there, but it was management. And they were, wanting to trade me or get me out. No, he was just saying that they were going to go through a rebuild process and whatnot.
So I think what he's saying is, like, me personally, I wanted to stay in Denver, but management made it so I had to force a trade.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Right. And here's where the kernel of truth, there's always like the little bit of truth that allows for like to like really use this in your favor, is the Nuggets were going to retool and rebuild. And they had somebody, in my opinion, that was capable of doing just that in Masai. I mean, look, maybe he was unproven at the time, but the Nuggets had done right by Carmelo from the time he came in my opinion. What I really hate, one of the things I really, really, really don't like about the rewriting of the Carmelo narrative in Denver. One, it's hard to build a contender in Denver. We know this. So even back in 2003, this was difficult. But guess what? The year he was drafted, they brought in a Camby, an Andre Miller. They had a Kenny Martin, short thereafter. Like they had a Nene who was a quality center for a long time. Like they put pieces around
Totally.
that was a good team.
Remember when they got Allen Iverson?
They got Allen Iverson, Hall of Famer. Like they made moves to have a competitive team around him, and they were a competitive team every single year that Carmelo was in Denver.
They went to the playoffs 10 years in a row.
And Carmelo was great. Carmelo was great. Those were fun eras. I still have nothing but fond memories and thoughts about Carmelo. Like this is none of this. But this idea of like, oh man, like they forced my hand because they weren't competitive or didn't want to be competitive. Bullshit, man. Such bullshit.
The reality is Carmelo got to a point in his run in Denver where he wanted to go to New York. And he wanted to go to New York not for basketball reasons. I mean, he can say anything, but
do you remember the feature? It was like GQ magazine where he bought like that giant warehouse space, but it actually didn't in Brooklyn, but actually didn't have a business. He's just like, at one day I'm gonna have a business. Like whatever.
It's like that base in Afghanistan that was still empty. That 92 million. You guys read about that?
Wow, we're really bringing it down here now.
No, but Melo got to a point where his number one priority was not winning.
And whatever. Fine.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, okay, you get to do that. We get to boo you.
That is what it is. Call a spade a spade.
We
That
don't
is
get
what
to
it
rewrite
is.
the history. And we just saw, I don't know if you guys saw the Draymond Green, Kevin Durant sit down where they talked about how it was really management's fault that the team fell apart or this or that. And again, it's another one of these rewriting histories where, look, I love that the players, that media is in such a way that people like us get to exist, that we get to be a successful media company, that we probably wouldn't have had these opportunities collectively if we had to go through the radio stations who tried to work for them for years, would never even bring me in for an interview. I know all of us have similar stories. Newspaper, same thing.
Bastards never brought me in.
Maybe
one interview.
But I'm saying, like, new media has allowed for this, and players now getting access has been a largely positive thing. It's great. But the one thing I don't like, fans don't realize how much they side. Like, you side with players because players are cool. You want to be on the side. Like, who wants to be on the side of Jerry Krause for anything? Like, come on, it's very easy to pick a side here. But one thing players are, like, really know is that you can sell this bullshit. And the Draymond Green, Kevin Durant thing, I love them. They had a falling out. It happened. Management maybe played a part in that, but let's not kid ourselves and say it was their fault. Like, we would have resolved this on our own. And the same goes for Carmelo. Like, no, man. You didn't have faith that the Nuggets, who had done right by you for every single year, were going to do right by you. Come on, man. Yes, of course they were. You wanted to go to New York, and that's fine. You went to New York.
Own it. It is funny because this conversation always ends up, it is management versus labor, right?
Totally. True.
Those are the divides, and then everybody says, like, why are you siding with management when you talk about this?
That's so funny.
But it's funny because in the NBA, the labor is management.
Right.
They are now
all
at
the
a
power,
point,
all the money.
At this point, have all of the powers. So it's like, no, you can't anymore be like, oh man, these poor guys, like they're just being shipped around where they don't want to go.
I want to make sure there are layers to this.
Course,
we're not making this like a black and white thing. It's just
the class of player that we are speaking of. The Carmelo Anthonys, the Kevin Durants, the players that have enough sway in this league are not allowed. They absolutely can dictate where they go, what they do. They can't play this note where they were like a victim of circumstance from management. That's not BS, Carmelo.
But it's funny because, like, I go on Reddit and read the comments of the story. I go on Twitter and read the replies to when it was out on, and like, it's like hook, line, and sinker. Everyone's like, oh man, I had no idea that was the case. Like, damn, now I'm mad at the Nuggets for losing. Like, guys, what? A lot of this was people weren't alive back or weren't watching the Nuggets back then or whatever. It's like, guys, are you kidding me? Come on, man. Come on.
Denver wasn't good enough for Melo. He didn't want to be here. He didn't prioritize winning anymore. His wife also didn't want to be here.
His wife very clearly did not want to be here. I mean,
and again, this is why it's institutional. No, it's institutional. Why did they want to be in New York? Because there were opportunities in New York that they're not in Denver, including basketball ones. And it's like, hey, that's because the NBA is. Well, I'm just saying, like, to be on Christmas and like to be on TV and do all this stuff, like. And this is where the NBA structurally creates a system where people want to do this. Whatever. Moving on. I just call a spade a spade. I just don't want this revisionist, like, and everybody buys it hook, line, and sinker. It's so ridiculous. J.R. Smith playing golf now. And I have to say, this story has taken a couple interesting turns because J.R. Smith, like a JaVale McGee, both Nuggets, by the way, gained this reputation that was semi-warranted. Like, J.R. Smith was, a wild partier in his day. But has grown and or whatever, moved on, and like this label of him like, oh, he's not gonna be going to class, I'll bet you, or like, oh, he's probably gonna be drinking and partying, this or that, and he's kind of pushing back on this of like, hey, do you guys have any better jokes? Like, it's been so long, I'm like a different person, and I do want to give him this credit. Like, I think it's a cool thing that he's going to college, that he's playing golf. I think it's actually a really cool thing.
Imagine if J.R. Smith goes to college and then just like gets drunk with 18-year-olds. Like, that would be like honestly the most depressing thing. Like, he's already lived an entire life of
Larry Eustace, right?
being playing an entire NBA career, and then he goes like he's Rodney Dangerfield going back to school, like showing a frat.
The best part about all of this is J.R. Smith is live tweeting his college experience.
It's awesome. I think it's actually really
hilarious.
Interesting.
Like, last night he tweeted out, he was like, man, tried to join an online study group and none of my classmates believe it's me.
I know.
Also, how do they not believe it's him? Do they not like pay attention to the news?
Yeah, this is so true.
It's like the biggest story in that college's history.
Everybody in college is pretending to be J.R. Smith is probably what it is. It's got a bunch of fake J.R. Smiths running around their Zoom meetings. Anyway, I just thought it was. I think it's like a cool story, and it is. I think it's interesting seeing J.R. kind of push back on the like, all right, get your jokes out. Even he makes a few jokes, but he's like, but also like, I'm being serious with this, and I think it's kind of cool.
I think it's good too. Good for him.
Is he a better? Nah, he's a better basketball player than golfer.
I was going to say he should also, while he's going out for the golf team.
I don't know if he was like a Steph Curry level golfer.
But like while he's trying out for the golf team or playing the golf team, he should also try out for the basketball team.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out. I don't think it works out that way. Would you? Is there a sport like so? Could you go back and play or attempt to play an auxiliary sport, even if it's at a lower level?
I would love to go back and try and play golf in college.
It'd be dope, huh?
I only learned golf late in life, in my 30s, and I'm a bit of a phenom, I would say.
Oh my god,
you and Adam both.
Wow. Incredible. I wish I could go back. You know the sport that never gained traction in the U.S. or at least in Colorado? It makes sense.
Soccer?
Water polo. I want to go back and play water polo. It's a great sport.
Oh, it's not the worst sport.
Water polo sounds like the worst thing in existence.
Water polo sounds
You're treading water for an hour while people are trying to drown you. What about that sounds fun?
No. I'm trying to drown people while I'm treading water. It's like you are being the one being drowned.
I think you have the frame for it.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, if there's one sport, frame. I have if you every Olympics, there's a thing where you can like put in your like height and weight, and it'll tell you like Olympic athletes that have your same dimensions. They're all water polo players every single time. Yeah. Or like
an undersized big man from Hungary.
Yeah. But usually, so I think I have a water polo's build. I have a giant barrel chest. I'm buoyant.
Hey,
a great wingspan.
I gotta say, this
is sounding an awful lot like the golf conversation.
There's few things on earth I want to see less than Adam playing water polo.
You wouldn't water polo is a tough visual.
It's a tough watch.
It's a tough watch. You can't really tell what's going on.
It's a tough watch.
That's really the problem with water polo.
You just have no idea what's going on.
Just like heads floating around. Every now and then they go to the underwater camp, just as bad. Still can't tell what's going on.
You know what sport I wish took off in the U.S.? That's not water polo. Handball.
Yeah, of course.
Handball's a sick sport.
Every Olympics, people come to this realization, and then as soon as it's over, it's completely out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, it
is a great sport, though.
The other sport that needs to be in the Olympics, slam ball.
Slam ball. But the two sports.
Also, we need slam ball to come back.
Dude, I miss slam ball so much.
But the two sports that like really get pumped up the most by the Olympics, both winter and summer, handball and curling.
Yeah, curling.
Yeah.
They rise to prominence and they disappear immediately thereafter.
Yeah.
I have a cousin. He's a cousin by marriage.
Love the
actually,
Norwegian stories.
That was a collegiate curler. That's a true
story. They had
story.
that in college.
Yep. He went to college to be a curler in the United States. Yeah, I think he went to St. Cloud State, something like that. Yeah.
Do you have a microphone
Arizona State.
I do have a microphone.
Oh, okay, good. You have a microphone.
Big curling. All right, guys, that wraps it up for today. This was a fun show. Eric, you'll appreciate. I said at the start of the show.
100%. Let me tell you, if anyone out there can guess what Adam said right before the show starts, it means you've seen any of our other shows. Adam starts off by saying, might be a short one today, guys. Might be a short one. That guarantees we're going to be pushing the limits.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to get into curling and handball and water polo.
No one ever suspects that we will, but we always do.
Shouts to the comment section. You guys were great today. Always fun hanging with you guys.
I freaking love our dude, the DNBA Hive.
Yeah.
DNBA hive is bigger than the bull
DNBA
hive.
hive.
It's incredible.
Not as big as the Fox
Hit the
hive.
like button on the way out tomorrow. Casual Friday. I thought today was casual, but
Dude,
Ooh.
what is tomorrow? Are we just gonna lay down?
yeah, we're gonna be in like a onesie the entire time.
Like all of us in one onesie?
Oh, Jesus.
Adios, everybody.